Test 1 2, test 1 2, test 1 2. Test 1 2.
Testing. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Ba, 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 ba.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
One, two, three. It's a typical gloomy, cold Melbourne day here in West Meadows, with things slowly heating up between these two teams. Today could be of important significance for both these two sides. For Hume City, a chance to keep pushing the Oakley Cannons right at the top of the table as they are separated by just 1 point. The race for the premiership is on, with a spot in the Australian Championship as the prize. And for Dandenong City, it's been a season they've been able to turn around thus far after the shocking worries they had early on. Within touching distance of the top six, and with only 8 games to go, they are on the charge to make a last-minute dash for the finals. It's a battle of Melbourne's northwest and southeast. Welcome everybody to Nassau Stadium, home of Hume City, as they play host to the visiting Dandenong City in round 19 of the Senol NPL Victoria season. A lot at stake here this afternoon. Stefan Georgic, Peter Paleologos here at West Meadows, getting ready to call the action. I say very good afternoon to Peter. How are you doing?
Very well. A very interesting day, obviously, with the Socceroos this morning, and don't want to dwell on it too much, but a disappointing result. But we're here for a fantastic game. It's as you say, cold and windy out here, but two teams with a lot of upside. We've got Hume, as you say, very close to Oakley, to the top of the ladder, and then Dandenong City, although not safe from relegation, then within the top 6 in the range, with about 5 points outside. So, fascinating day. What I will say about today's game, 2 of the Hume players that have been, I would say, very important to them and not playing, Bayou and Engelhardt. So that's going to be very interesting to see how Hume set up and how they progress forward. But fascinating to call with you, and looking forward to this game.
It's 100% going to be a good one here, Pete. 12 degrees here at West Meadows, 14 kilometres of wind. Let's talk you through the lineup for Dandenong City. One change, no Jack Webster in the lineup. His replacement will be Jack Peticic-Cullen. In between the sticks will be Matthew Murren, the 2 fullbacks of Jackson Lino and Valil Sesnik, the 2 central defenders of Gaku Inaba and Jack Peticic, as I've just mentioned. In the midfield, Harry Ashcroft, and Danny Kim. On the left flank, it will be Will Bow. On the right flank, Titmi Atharinos. And up front, it will be Xander Guy. And making his way over from Dandenong Thunder, it will be Wade Decker. And for the hosts, Hume City, in between the sticks, still out with an injury is Christopher Oldfield. Damon Camilleri will be in between the sticks. The 2 fullbacks of Coda Cador and Taylor Shrivers. The 2 central defenders of Aaron Calver and Braden Spink. In the midfield, it will be Aidan Coyne and Steve White, the central attacking midfielder of Birkan Kirda. On the left flank position, it will be Max Wright. On the right flank, it will be Munib Addis. And up front, it will be Josh Bingham. Our referee as well, Alex Nikolovsky. So already kick-off here, and already a fast-charging Coda Cador up on that right-hand flank position, trying to create something for Hume City here. A big game field. Birkan Kirda works it back centrally to Bingham, who's got a sea of white shirts in front of him. Hume City in their traditional all-red kit. Dandenong City with the white shirt and blue shorts. Here's Kirda, lost the ball to Lino. Lino, who's progressing the football up and quickly stopped in his tracks. Here's Addis now. Tries to cross the ball inside the box, and it is Gaku Inaba just whiffing that one away, however. Ball still here. Coyne tries to cross it in. Headed away, and a good little attack here. Good attacking sequence for Hume City here so far, Peter.
Yes, it is. And it's interesting today. I always see Hume with Kadur, Burka, and Engelhardt's not playing today. Has been their very much attacking triangle outlet. That missing, but Munib coming in, and Munib Adus, very important.
And it's a very close start already there, as Max Wright tried to get his kicking boots out and try and get his first goal for Hume City. Made his start last week from FC Halifax Town from England. Made his start last week against Dandenong Thunder.
Yeah, it's interesting to see some new players, and we've had actually a very, very interesting transfer window, which we may talk about a little bit later in the NPL.
Let's see what type of transfers are going to be on offer. Whole changes of complexity for transfers here in the NPL. See a couple big transfers I've just mentioned, which we'll touch on a little bit later on. Obviously, right across some of the top 4 clubs as well. Hume City hasn't undergone too much changes in their lineup for them. Obviously, bringing in Max Wright from FC Halifax Town, as I've just mentioned. Dandenong City, 2 big inclusions, making their way over from Dandenong Thunder. Jackson Courtney Perkins, along too with Wade Decker, making their way over from the rivals as Taylor Shrivers trying to work it in. Inside was Max Wright. He's been the targeted man so far. That's his second shot that he's had so far. Dandenong City are going to look to try and work their way back.
Yeah, very important interception by Danny Kim, getting the right place. I think that was just getting that block in and ensuring that Hume didn't get that opportunity.
A really strong start here for Hume so far. They're electing to just not work too much in through the centre of the park. Elected to go on that right flank and that left-hand flank position. This is the 23rd meeting between these two sides. Hume City lead the head-to-head battle, 11 wins to 8. They've had 3 draws in their rivalry. The first, or the third one I should say, happened a little bit earlier on this year in that 1-1 draw at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex. There's a corner coming here on that far side, brought in, and that one won't go anywhere, and it will be the youngster to bring us back.
Just looking at the way Hume have set up, pretty much, even though they haven't got Engelhard or Bayou, pretty much 75% of the time this year they've stuck with a 4-2-3-1. Bingham, the target man, with the 3 attacking midfielders, 2 defensive midfielders and the 4 back line, and pretty much set up the same way today.
A big game this one has here at Nasiol Stadium. Quite the crowd here as well. We've got a lot of our mini roos playing on the pitch directly behind us, along to on the far left side if you can see. So plenty of buzz in and around here. Only a couple of weeks ago they had the Australia versus Turkey game as well here on the massive rollout van LED screen that was right on the pitch. About 2,500, 3,000 people were here at this game to just try and watch that. I'm not sure they would have been too happy with that result, Peter. They definitely would have been with the US result, but World Cup as well this morning with Australia going down in penalties. But what a World Cup it's been so far, Peter.
It's been a fascinating World Cup, and people say 48 teams, but you know, you've seen a lot of teams really perform.
Kirita looking to try and get ahead. Max Wright this time. Clearly the man they've been targeting so far early on here. See if Dandy City can try and reply. They've done a good job at stopping in that back third. What else can they try and muster up? Dandenong City this year, they've conceded only 25 goals. Hume City, they've scored 39 of them. So if there's one team that definitely knows how to put the finishing touches on the cake, it's definitely Hume City. Coming off that 3-0 win versus Dandenong Thunder last week.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Dandenong City is they like to play in front of them. I mean, they're very much a team that plays direct, whereas Hume City are actually missing their 2 most important attackers. Bayou scored over 10 goals, and Engelhard is the second top scorer. So it's going to be interesting how they adapt today. 2 different styles, and Dandy City play a little bit more direct, and having Wade Decker there also provides another outlet. A good signing during the window.
3-1 was the scoreline for Hume City last week against Dandenong Thunder, my correction. Dandenong City as well, a big win for them coming off that 3-1 win at home at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex against Avondale, who have been in really hot form over the last couple of weeks. Same goes as well for Hume City. Hume City, they haven't lost a game since all the way back in round 9 against St. Albans Dynamo. That was a 1-1 loss, and that was actually here at home. So they haven't tasted a defeat in 10 rounds so far, as Will Bauer goes to throw it into the direction of Danny Kim. I believe it was Gaku Inaba, and correction it was. And it will be Hume City's football here. So far both teams just trying to feel each other out here.
Yeah, it's early days. I think Dandy City a little bit on the back foot, but now getting back into the game. It's going to be interesting how they adjust with Decker. I think it's having Xander Guy and Decker working each other, and Atherinos is probably the form winger in the league at the moment, not discounting any other winger, but really been in top form lately. It's going to be interesting to see how that adjustment's made, especially in the attacking sense. 7
goals for Timmy Atherinos so far this year. Quite the impressive season he's had so far. Definitely took him a little bit of time to get going. Scored himself 2 goals last week against Avondale. Hume City looking to try and attack from that cross in on that right-hand flank position. So Hume City, they're definitely coming out all guns blazing here at the moment. A lot of people, they wrote off this Hume City squad. Obviously, after it was Dandenong City, they ended up creeping in. This is a funny little game as well because Dandenong City, it was at this point last year where they really started clawing back a lot of steam as well. And I think a lot of people probably wrote off Hume City because of the fact that they weren't able to make finals last year. What did you think of that? And what a season that they've had so far as well.
Oh, they've had a very good season. I mean, you've got to look at some of their sign. I'm actually looking at this, the new player, Wright.
Yep.
He's actually got a lot of work rate. You can tell he's got the old English, I would say, Welsh style of a lot of work in coming back, coming forward, putting in a lot of tackles. But yes, everyone underestimated Hume City this year. And they've got some interesting, Munib, who's had A-League experience. Bayou, who's not playing today, A-League experience. Kurdas played at Melbourne Victory and in Turkey. A lot of quality players. And I think obviously the predictions weren't that great, but you've seen. And also a good brand of football under Hegarty. That's important because fans do want to see a good brand of football. And as I mentioned at the start, they've got their triangle outlet. Anglehart's not playing today, who's a great find. Munib's playing more in his position, Munib Adus. But they've got Coda and Burker working well together.
Max Wright definitely known for being able to put the ball in the back of the net. Obviously, former Grimsby Town, Boston United, Harrogate Town, and FC Halifax Town player, as I mentioned. Played in 52 games, scored 4 goals for Grimsby Town back in 2019 and 2022. Most recently, FC Halifax Town, as I've mentioned, 81 games, 8 goals. So definitely knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. So obviously we can't judge too much about what type of recruit he's been so far after 1 game. But as this season does progress, we'll see how good the recruiting has been.
Well, we've seen a massive week of recruiting from 4 of the big teams, not discounting the teams here today. We'll maybe talk about that later. For South Melbourne, for Preston, Avondale, and of course Heidelberg. And some A-League players as well.
Hume City trying to work the ball out there.
I didn't mention Spinks before, but he's been an important. He was at South Melbourne, didn't get that many opportunities at the centre back position, but he's played every game this season, and really, he's probably not the tallest for centre back, but really been very important to Hume.
Speak about him as well, playing for South Melbourne earlier on this season. Braden Spink scored a goal against South Melbourne as well in that 1-1 draw back in round 15. So he's had a goal for his likings as well this season. Khalil Sesnik now in the back third. Hume City have come out really aggressive so far with their attack. We'll see if Dandenong Thunder can try and really work their way back and just be a little bit more aggressive. So far this season for Hume at home, they've had 6 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses as well. They've only had losses back in round 1, a 3-1 loss to Altona Magic, and a round 9 1-0 loss to St Albans Dinamo. The 1 draw that they did have was against South Melbourne back in round 15. So only 4 rounds ago. Hume City, they can, and Pete, you can agree with this, with the size of the pitch here, with the width of the sheer width of it and everything, they can definitely use this pitch to their advantage as they've slowly been able to do so far.
Yes. I mean, one thing we don't realise that they're very attacking Hume City. They've had the second most shots at goal in the league this season in NPL, so they're always very quick to take shots and create those opportunities. It's a little bit of a different game with Bingham leading the line, whereas before you had Bayou, who's obviously injured, who's swinging left, right, letting other players in. But Bingham's more of a target man, as you can see he's playing right on the line. But at the end of the day, the adjustments there, they've got the players who can create the opportunity.
Dandenong City's away record, though. I mean, if you speak about their home record, quite the home record indeed, turning Frank Holohan into a fortress. 5 wins, 3 draws and 2 losses. Their away record, though, not too great. 2 wins, 1 draw and 5 losses for them. They've only had 2 wins. That was round 3. 2-1 win at Heidelberg United in that grand final rematch, as Birkan Kirda now looking to try and be aggressive. And that one's going to go well over.
But they, with Dandy City, I think it was 3 weeks ago, I co-commentated their match against Heidelberg, and that was their biggest display of the season, 4-1, and really showed what quality they have. And we know last year they made the grand final, and just a couple of things didn't go their way, although Heidelberg was the best team last year overall. But Danny City can get on a run, and the quality of their players, they've got experience, got dynamism, they've got an X factor in Atherinos. They've got a lot, and they've got Inabo, who's played every game this year. They're going to be interesting going into the final 7-8 rounds.
Nick Tolios as well is definitely one to really specialise in this back part of the season as well. Both himself and Nick Hegarty. Both Nicks out there as coaches, funnily enough. They definitely know how to coach a couple of good teams out there. Obviously, Nick Tolios, as we mentioned, took Dandenong City all the way to the grand final, and that's something that Hume City will be spewing, considering that Dandenong City finished 6th. If Hume City finished 6th, maybe they would have been able to get into the grand final themselves.
It's all about momentum, all about swings. And you mentioned coaches. We've got some really good coaches in the NPL. I mean, we saw today Ant Postecoglou linked, I think he signed with Al Nasser, the big Saudi, and I think it's Arthur Pappas, who's a Victorian, moving from Teresa Osaka to, I might not pronounce this correctly, Al Efakwe, another big Saudi team in their Premier League there. So, some very good coaches and very adaptable. And I think that's one thing about Australia. Our coaches worldwide are starting getting that recognition. And I think also with NPL, we've got some good coaches here who can progress to A-League or can progress to bigger teams.
I've already seen it so often. Some of the head coaches progressing forwards. Obviously, Johnny A, one a former Western United coach as well. Don't want to touch too much on Heidelberg, but the type of Warriors that they've had so far this season. A couple games winless, obviously a 1-1 draw last night against St. Albans Dynamo. So it's a season compared to last year that they haven't really been able to replicate. A little bit of pressure as well, and when they've lost possibly their key attacking player, Bull Jawach, who's actually back in the Senol NPL Victoria competition to South Melbourne, as we'll touch on a little bit later. It's a bit of a blows, and they've tried to bring in a couple of players, and they haven't quite been able to fill in the shoes quite like the Raging Bull.
No, they brought actually Theo Harris, a very interesting player that's had A-League experience, come from Central Coast. Melbourne Victory as well, I think previously to that. So they have brought, but they probably didn't get I probably wanted another target man, if I can call it, another striker or a second striker. They haven't got that. And, teams always dip in form, and we've seen that now with the Heidelberg, but they'll bounce back. They've got quality across the field. They're in the Doherty Cup, I think the final there. They've got their momentum, but Hume is the big story in this competition so far because, as you said, underestimated at the start of the year and really doing great things.
I mean, when you have a look at their squad, Hume City, they've really done a good job at the start of the year, not only to recruit well, but just to build the chemistry within this group. I think Hume City and Nick Hegarty as well, I think they have enough trust in this squad and enough chemistry that they probably didn't feel the need in this mid-season transfer window to add any other players. Just because, you look at Asubeyu, 12 goals, he's second, who's actually on the bench today. Last week didn't play, nursing a little bit of a groin strain. But you look at Asubeyu, second goal scorer, Bruno Fornaroli, obviously, with 17 goals. So you have a look at some quality out there. Josh Bingham as well, who's been able to really provide some stability up front. Christopher Engelhardt, who's been able to come in. Birkan Kirda as well. And obviously the loss of Lloyd Isgrove that they ended up losing going to Dynamo, it hasn't really been too much of a loss for them, considering they've really been able to repel back to what they've been able to do. And
they change a little bit. They've gone for those fast, quicker, good passing. Kadoa, Burka, you've got those players, Manib, Engelhardt is not playing today. They've just got that little bit of faster tempo, faster type players to change a little bit. And they've got obviously Bingham and Bay, who's not playing at the moment, but really it's a different style and it's very effective.
Free kick there for Dandenong City, still with Dandenong City. Now Timmy Atherinos on the cusp of the box. Couldn't really create anything of it. Here's Valil Sesnik, kicks the ball straight into Steve White. Straight into his arm, as signalled there by our referee Alex Nikolovsky. And we are going to have another free kick coming up here for Dandenong City, as Hume City can't really dispute it when, very clear, went off his arm there. So are going to have a free kick here and a good opportunity here indeed for Dandenong City, directly in front of the goal, about a couple metres or so from the box.
Yeah, this is a very good opportunity. I'm not sure. I think a Therinos might be looking at taking this. But this is a benchmark game. Dandy City on the rise, Hume in second, both benchmarking. And where is Dandy City at? Good game today against Hume. You know, they're on the upward curve. Hume also, they're seen as a contender in Dandy City. How they deal with that?
Dandenong City only 5 points away from that sixth position, and there's a whole huddle there as Will Bauer getting ready to take this one, and that ball going well out over into the car park. Hopefully no one's windshield is hurt and damaged from that one, but obviously, as we mentioned, the table's getting really close so far. As we're working our way to the back end of the season, you got the likes of Oakley, Hume, Avondale, Heidelberg. They're pretty much set already, somewhat locked in for finals, as some could say. From about 5th all the way down to 9th, you look at Melbourne City, Preston, George Cross, South Melbourne, and Dandenong City. It's kind of up in the air. If Dandenong City can squeak a win here and there and, pray if luck can go their way, they could very much find themselves back up racing for finals, especially with probably not the greatest start of the season that they would have liked.
No, and don't forget, Preston and Dandenong City have got some minus points there, so they could have been a little bit high, both those teams. Preston's on a bit of a surge, and we know who they've signed, Bernarda being one, Luca Tevere coming back, so really they're looking for finals. Melbourne City still got some of their experienced squad members, and Dandy City, they're coming. It's going to be very interesting. South Melbourne have lost last week against Green Gully. Very disappointing. Playing Dandenong Thunder, these teams are desperate to survive relegation. That 5th and 6th positions is up for grabs, and that's what makes NPL Victoria so interesting. That teams from the bottom or coming up have still got a chance.
It's all up in the air so far this year. How good for Green Gully as well to get that win against South Melbourne. Max Wright works it back to Taylor Shrivers. Hume City just slowed down in their tempo over the last couple of minutes. Dandy City have been able to find a little bit of a groove. Spink thought about the kick, instead going to go out to Aaron Calver. Aaron Calver, former Seoul Eland player in South Korea. Munib Addis now on that right-hand flank against Jackson Lino. Good man-up defense here between Dandenong City, not giving Hume any real chance to attack and progress the football through any corridors.
Yeah, Dandenong City playing a little bit more of a semi-low block there. They've got to keep the ball in front of them. They can't allow the ball to come over the top, especially with Hume, or get the crosses. Because I was doing some research on Y-Scout on Dandenong City, and expected goals against them, they're number 1. So if teams do get opportunities against them, they do suffer goals. So they've got to be very careful to keep that ball in front and not allow Hume too much towards the box.
Dandenong City, they've had 3 out of their last 5 games, 3 of which have been wins. Obviously, most notable ones being round 16, 4-1, as you mentioned, against Heidelberg United at home, and last week 3-1 against Avondale. So they've got a lot of confidence coming into this game, and it's slowly been on display as they're holding their own really well. Inaba, Ashcroft, Harry Ashcroft, a former Hume City player in his own right out here, as Munib Addis trying to progress the football up. Max Wright is there. Valil Sesnik just in the nick of time there to try and work that football away from Matthew Murray in goal. Kirda keeping the football alive, tries to cross it to Bingham, who was in the correct spot, but football couldn't really find its way onto his forehead. And Jackson Lino there. Dandenong City going to look to try and attack on their own, Pete.
Yeah, good Inaba there, good in the air, just stopping Bingham, who's one of the better players in the air, in aerial duels at least, in the NPL. A good interception, but it's been an even game. I mean, it's interesting now that Danny City have got Sesnik and Atherinos on their right. They see that as Sesnik being a very attacking fullback. Atherinos, we know, he's a winger, but likes to go right on the line, very much trying to attack this way, whereas Hume are on the other side with Munib and Kadua and Burka linking up. So the two right wings up against each other in terms of attack.
Khalil Sesnik, a former Port Melbourne Sharks player from 2021 to 2023. Ended up playing 19 games for them, scored 5 goals as well for the Vikings there as well. So definitely knows how to put the ball in the back of the net, Valil, and what a player he's been in that right back position. Really held his own throughout majority of the season so far.
It's interesting with how Xander Guy and Decker are going to work together. It seems like Decker sometimes moving into the centre forward position, and Xander Guy, who's a natural centre forward, moving more towards the right.
Hume City trying to work the football from Shrivers on this near side. It's been a really good display of defence from both these sides. The back third's really well calculated, not allowing both teams to try and have a real shot on goal. Obviously a couple of passages of play from Hume City have been promising, but it's been Dandenong City that have really done a good job at not allowing that ball to come in.
In terms of, I would say, Nick Tolios would like to see Jackson Leno maybe a bit more attacking. A couple of weeks ago, he really did some good overlaps and more attacking, staying a little bit back, but he's very dangerous. But I suppose you've got Manib on that side, so you can't let them get away. But Jackson Leno, very important, especially if he gets forward.
Bauer with the throw-in, tried to go up to Xander Guy. That one quickly stopped there, so not really too many attacks for Dandenong City in this first half so far. Just coming up and approaching 25 minutes in this game. Nick Tolios not happy out here in the dugouts from that call by our referee.
That's a great thing about being in the commentary box, Bevan. We can hear a bit of the comments from the coaches. Perrick Cullen disappointing. That Perrick Cullen gets a chance to come across from the ACT Canberra, Croatia, and young player, up and coming, was listed as one of the young players to look out for this season in the NPL. Good to get an opportunity and see some of these younger defenders.
Here's Coyne, works it out now to Cador, tries to cross it in now. In the box, no one there. Timmy Atharinos with a header. Taylor Shrivers with the kick. And a couple of these long shots here, a little bit of desperation from both these sides. Can't really create any opportunity, Pete.
Yeah, that's I think Taylor Shrivers would be disappointed with that. That's not a great finish. But Danny City are keeping, especially the wingers and the attacking outlets of Hume, away from their goal. There hasn't been that many opportunities. And that's the way they want it. They want to play the game in front. They don't want to allow Hume to get behind.
Dandenong City been on the back foot here so far after this game has really settled in. Hume City again, just with the way that they can manage themselves and manage the game, work it into their advantage. You can see it on display here. A good ball here. Josh Bingham, that one clearly offside. Josh Bingham well past the defenders on that occasion. He's had 5 goals to his name so far, Josh Bingham, and I'm sure he's going to want to try and add another.
Yeah, I mean, he's leading the line, and he's probably now with Bayou not playing, very important player for Hume to continue their upward momentum and gather points. But at the moment, Dandenong City's pretty much controlling a little bit now. They've had a first frustrating 5-10 minutes, but now making sure that Hume don't really get that much momentum, especially up front. And Inaba's important. He's been a very important player, not just from a defensive point of view, but in set pieces and corners. Someone who's played all games this season.
Gaku Inaba joined the club last year. Began his career in 2020 playing in Japan. Played over there in the Emperor's Cup and the J2 League in the second tier. So he's got a whole wealth of experience, and as you mentioned, definitely one of the key players out there. What have you thought about the midfield so far of Dandenong City? The likes of Harry Ashcroft and Danny Kim. Obviously, we've seen Will Bauer and Timmy Atharinos been involved, but so far not too many touches of the football in that midfield for Danny Kim and Harry Ashcroft here, Pete.
No. Kim's asking for it now, and Ashcroft, I think they're alternating, but they're playing a little bit more defensive. Wanted to soak up a little bit of the pressure, but but I would like to see them pushing a little bit more forward. I think Ashcroft also has been given a licence. He must come back, especially if Anaba and we see that he must help more with defensive midfielder. Sesnick's important. He's the one that sort of comes in and links in with the midfield. Bauer is a bit quiet and really has got to get a little bit more into the game, but it's still early days. They've soaked up the pressure. This is the opportunity.
So we've got a corner coming up here for Dandenong City. Let's see if they can try and create a possible goal opportunity here. Sometimes in a game like this, set pieces are definitely going to matter. Timmy Atharinos looks to be the taker of this corner. Let's see if Dandenong City can create something here. It was a very low and short corner that went straight to Max Wright, who was able to get his head on the football and work it back. Let's see what Dandenong City can provide as a low ball. Very close indeed, but I don't think anything will be made on that occasion. It was somewhat promising from Wade Decker.
Yeah, Sesnick was there for the second ball, got it, created the opportunity. Hume calling for a foul, wasn't there, but a bit of a disappointing shot, but good setup. That's what you lead the second ball, especially against Hume, who push a little bit back, and Sesnick set that up really well.
It's a super Saturday of football here today in the Senol NPL Victorias. Dandenong City running a little bit of a trap there on Hume. Got our game happening right here. What a cracker of a game this one's so far unfolding to be. Still 30 minutes away from kickoff between possibly the game of the round, Avondale and Preston Lions. It's a battle of the powerhouse and the immovable object, that's what it was marked as. Altona Magic and Melbourne City kick off at 3:15 at Paisley Park there. And then to round us off, it is the Georgies taking on the Oakley Cannons at 6 p.m. tonight at City Vista. There's Xander Guy here on this right-hand flank in the corner, really trapped up by Braden Spink. Tries to cross it in, could be promising. Let's see if Jackson Leno can have a strike. It was there, too many players in the box for Hume. Xander Guy once again going to have a shot of his own. Really, really good defending there from Steve White. And all the players in the box there for Hume scrapping to keep that ball away from the goal.
Good to see there, Dandy City giving a licence to Sesnick and Jackson Leno just on the edge of the box. Ball comes out, good opportunities, and that's where they've got to press back on Hume. A good little piece of momentum here now by Dandy City, another corner.
Good for Dandenong City to put a little bit more pressure on Hume. Hume has definitely been foot to the throttle over the last 10-15 minutes with their attacks, not allowing Dandy to attack. And we're going to have another corner coming up here for Dandenong City. Timmy Atharinos is the taker. Who's going to get the football? Answer is it was Hume. Atharinos tries to cross it in once again. Danny Kim was there. It was very close. In correction, it was Gaku Anaba. And we are going to have take two of the corner.
Gaku Inaba gets himself in very good positions as a defender, as a centre back, very in good positions, especially in the set pieces, and he's all around the box. You can't afford to give him any time because he reads the play very well. I can see that with his J-League or J2 League experience.
Let's see what this corner can do this time round. Second corner, third one in this sequence of play. It's promising, but nothing on that occasion. Xander Guy was the one who headed that football up and over the goal, and it will be a goal kick with Damon Camilleri.
I think with Kim and Ashcroft, the midfield there for and Bauer as well, I would say they're playing a little bit sort of defensive. They're not, and then they're pressing a little bit. Now they're a bit of a high press now set up.
Intensity slowly picked up here for Dandenong City over the past couple minutes. They can sense now that it's almost the tide is slowly starting to shift. They're starting to get more attacking opportunities, and right when we spoke about Danny Kim and Harry Ashcroft, they've definitely managed to find a little bit of a groove, and they've been able to find their rhythm here in this game. They've really been held, and they haven't really been able to create anything. Kador tries to go down the line to Munib Addis. Inaba, as you mentioned, he's somewhat been at the right place at the right time so far this game. Danny Kim works it inside to Xander Guy, who works it back to Harry Ashcroft now. Here comes Dandy. Could this be a chance for them? Will Bauer now tries to keep the football alive, goes straight into the ball, straight into the hands of Damon Camilleri. So that was a really promising play there for Dandenong City, but I think it was Will Bauer who just held the football for a little bit too long there, Pete.
A little bit too long, and he'd be a bit disappointed in that. But they got through the channel. Finally, in that dangerous moment, they got through the channel and be able to get through Hume's defence, and that's important. That's a sign that they've got to go through the channel, and can't always be the long balls. And with the players they have, with Chesnick, Atharinos, and even Ashcroft, who when he gets forward, and Jackson Lino, should be using the channels a little bit more.
A good, even game so far this game's turning out to be, and I mentioned, of course, all the games that are happening today. Still one more game as well to come tomorrow. South Melbourne taking on Dandenong Thunder. So a big round 19 of Senol NPL football action still to come today. These two teams definitely really kicking us off here on this Saturday. Approaching 11 minutes, I should say, to go here in this first half. It's been a very clean first half as well, not too many stoppages or anything, so both teams, they definitely know what's at stake here. For Hume, as I mentioned, they're really trying to close that gap to Oakley. They've been pushing each other pretty much throughout the entire season, and I know Hume, after the struggles that they had last season, boy, would they love to finish on top and really close out, definitely get that Australian Championship position here, Pete.
Yeah, it's a Australian Championship is a prize that's up for grabs, and we know the three teams already in there from Victoria, Avondale, South Melbourne and Preston, but Oakley, Hume, even Heidelberg, they're all got ambition to get back into the Australian Championship. We saw how good it was last year, and the ability to get some great players in there.
Atharinos tries to cross it in here. Could be an open chance here for Dandy City and Jackson Lino, who was really working his way back in to try and put a foot there in a possible goal scenario. Danny Kim works all the way back to Matthew Murram, who's been quite the player in the back, in between the sticks.
It's Piers Clark's not. He's had most of the season. Loves leaving his line. We know that Piers Clark loves his line, and having the change of another very experienced keeper, very interesting for Dandy City. A bit like this morning where Australia changed the keeper, so keeping that competitive tension.
Both the two teams not running with their first goalkeeper. Obviously, Piers Clark not in. Christopher Oldfield as well not in here, as it could be a chance here for Lil Sesnick. Tries to cross it in. He had Wade Decker in his sights there. And a very, very close one. And a couple of these crosses, especially on this right-hand flank, they've been really good here so far for Dandenong City.
Yeah, Dandenong City the last 10 minutes, 15 have really taken momentum of this game and really trying to get, to the crosses straight in and try to get behind Hume City. So very, very important that they keep this momentum. Good start by Dandenong City, especially playing in Hume City's home ground. But Hume City are missing their two best attackers, Bayou and Engelhardt, so they've had to adapt today.
And a little slip up here. This could be a chance here for Dandy City. Guy works it out to Wade Decker. Not really the position that he wanted to be in when they were able to intercept and cut off the possession from Hume. Really, really promising stuff there from Dandenong City, but a little bit of a get out of jail for free card there if you're Hume. That would have been really, really roaring stuff there.
Decker will be disappointed. Yeah, Decker will be disappointed. A player's played A-League, a chance to impress at his new club. Disappointing.
I think he possibly thought that maybe there was enough time to maybe cross it in, wait for another player to come in, but just in the wrong position there on that occasion, and it was really, really promising, able to win the football away from the back third. Xander Guy and Wade Decker really applying pressure on Braden Spink and Aaron Calver and forced them into a little bit of a mistake. You can see the Hume City players urgently rushing back to try and not allow that football anywhere towards the goal. Dandenong City, got a fun little stat for you here, Pete. Over the last couple seasons, this will be, if they don't make finals, this will be the first time they'll miss finals in 2 consecutive seasons. Obviously, 2024 made finals, 2025 made finals as well. I mean, obviously, grand final as well last year, so they definitely know how to squeak in. They haven't finished higher than 6th. That's been their highest placing finish, as Birkan Kirdal was trying to attack on that occasion, but they haven't finished any higher than 6th on the table.
They're on a bit of momentum now. This is a very important game. They get a result here, especially a team that's in the top 2. They give them a lot of confidence, and it all comes down to, but they're no easy games. That's the other thing. We saw Green Gully yesterday, I think, beat Bentley. They're on a little bit of upsurge, trying to get out of relegation. St Albans get the draw against Heidelberg. They're at the lower end of the table, and there's no easy games. And Dandy Theatre, if they can get a result today, that is the momentum, but it's week by week proposition at the moment.
A chance here, and a free kick here for Dandenong City. You mentioned a very even game so far. At this rate, could be whoever scores the first goal might actually play a little bit more defensive and park the bus. It's been very, very competitive for a lot of the games here at Hume City at Nassau Stadium. Every team that's come, it's taken them a little bit to acclimatise just the sheer width of this pitch. So Hume City, even though they do have quite a lot of the home ground advantage, so you have Danny Kim down here, a little bit of gamesmanship, but it does take the opposing team a little bit of time to get used to this pitch here, Pete.
Yeah, a little bit concerned there for Danny Kim, a bit of a rough challenge. The referee's letting the game go. I mean, we've even seen, a lot of us have been watching the World Cup. A lot of referees are letting the game go with a lot of the fouls and just trying to keep the momentum for all teams, keep the game flowing. And Lino there, I thought might have been a foul on Munib Adus, just may have pulled him back, but it's a free-flowing game now, and there's a little bit of physicality in there, and also we've got a wind that's coming across, and that's had a bit of an effect in the way both teams are playing.
Definitely the wind has picked up here over the last couple minutes, as just then it was a very aggressive play between Max Wright and Harry Ashcroft. They got into it a little bit with a tackle. Timmy Atharinos on this right-hand flank works it forwards to Valil Sesnik, who's been exceptional so far this game. And a good tackle just in the nick of time, and it will bring up yet another corner for Dandenong City.
Sesnik getting really forward and getting into attacking positions. Wright, who's the Halifax town winger's got to really get a little bit more...
Promising here for Dandenong City. Timmy Atharinos, what can he provide? Crosses it in and chips it inside the box. Can Dandenong City try and squeak through? Wade Decker was in the back there, but he just passed it into a really tight clustered pack, which nothing was really able to happen for Hume, and they're going to go all the way back into their back third and try and reset the play.
I was just going to finish on that point, that Wright's got a little bit more man marking on Sesnik, especially when he goes forward. He's given him too much license to get forward and create opportunities for Dandenong City, I should say.
Timmy Atharinos so far has been exceptional in this game as well, along with Valil Sesnik. He's been everywhere, really trying to create a lot of attacking plays. Wade Decker has done a really good job at just fitting into this team so far. I mean, Timmy Atharinos, I mentioned, he's been feeding a lot of the footballs in, so it almost feels like they've been playing for quite some time, and it's not their second game that they're playing together. What can Hume do now? Working it out. Working it all the way down from Taylor Shrivers, and that one going out over the touchline.
I think Hume is a little bit... we haven't seen much of White in the midfield. He normally is one of the players that gives them those through passes. Obviously, you're missing Bayou, missing Engelhardt, but he hasn't really been into the game. And Hume's really, without that outlet, the last 10-15 minutes haven't found really any attacking edge or dimension.
Couldn't agree more there, Pete. Both himself and Steve White, they haven't really been active in this game so far. Hume have really elected to work the ball out on the wings, both Munib Addison, more lately on this side, Max Wright, they've definitely had a lot more of the possession than through the corridor. Birkan Kirda, he's been pretty much everywhere in this game, really trying to cover every blade of grass out there, but there's only so much of the football you can really cover out there. Hume City, if they make finals this year, which they're almost guaranteed to do, it'll be their 4th finals appearance. They've only made 3 since 2014. Obviously, they've made preliminary finals twice. That was 2015 and 2024. I'm sure they'd love to work their way back into the finals and really have a good hard crack, because they haven't finished higher than 5th on the table, and the only 2 exceptions were in 2020 and 2021. 2020 they finished 1st, 2021 they finished 2nd, or sorry, 4th I should say, and both those seasons were abandoned due to COVID, so they must be spewing that they haven't really had a real good chance at making a good run in the finals.
This is the year. I mean, this has been a great year for Hume, and when they also get some of the other players back, Bayou and Engelhard, they'll go for a surge. But this game's a bit difficult. It's been interesting also from Dandy City's point of view. You've got a new keeper in Camilleri, who hasn't really been tested. Maybe some set pieces, maybe Inaba with that opportunity. Guy and Decker haven't really tested him. Camilleri, a new keeper, and that's from their perspective, they'll be a bit disappointed on that. But Hume as well have had to adopt. Not as free flowing as they were in the last 10 rounds. So maybe we might see some tactical adjustments at half time.
A minute to go until half time here. Possible maybe minute of stoppage time. Doesn't look to be too much stoppage time. Obviously, very, very clean first half here at Nassau Stadium. Both teams very contested. You can tell both teams really want this win here, Pete. And I mean, with only 8 games to go, every minute is vital. Not only for these 2 teams, but for every single side out there, all the way down in the relegation zone. And this could be a real good chance here. Birkan Kirda tried to work it out. It was saved there by Aiden Coyne, who had a shot of his own, and ball kicked straight into the backside of Danny Kim. And Matthew Murram gets his hands on the football and just drops down onto the ground, as we do have Harry Ashcroft just holding his lower back there. Hopefully he's all right. Working our way slowly towards half-time here, but that was possibly the first real attacking chance that Hume have had in possibly since the start in the opening couple minutes of the first half.
Yeah, and Burke, as you mentioned, Burke Kurta, very important to him. He was in Team of the Week last week. As was Engelhard, is not playing today. 2 very important players. He's probably the maestro. He's the one that really, probably in the second half, only got a minute into to go, that really needs to create those opportunities, because it's been a little bit quiet, I would say, for this first half.
Definitely quiet for both these 2 sides, and minute of stoppage time in this game just added, as these 2 sides are going to try and regroup going into this second half. Kador linking up with Munib Addis, and both these two sides, especially Hume, looking to try and just roll out a little bit of time here. If you're Nick Hegarty, might have to actually hold on to that one. Pete Shrivers trying to work it forwards to Max Wright. Could be one last roll of the dice here. Kirda tries to thread it through in between the legs of Peticic Cullen. Ball still in the air. Bingham tries to bring the football down. Steve White, and that will be half time here in this very, very close first half here at Hume City. Pete, I feel both the coaches here, Nick Tolios and Nick Hegarty, both the Nicks actually, what are you telling yourself, and what are you telling the team, in fact, just to try and get something a little bit more going, definitely in a bit more of an attacking way?
I think with Dandy City, I would stretch a little bit more the Hume defence, push out the Arenas a little bit wide, give also Cessnick that license to really attack. Got to see more by Xander Guy. His work rate's got to pick up a little bit and get that combination going with Decker. The defence has been very solid, especially their first 5-10 minutes from Dandy City. Ashcroft and Kim, a couple of times when they're there for a second ball, they did quite well, but they're not pushing it hard enough at the moment. But maybe we've got to be careful, obviously, playing both as defensive midfielders. In terms of Hume City, they haven't gone into the game as much. I want to see Kadur with Burka really getting that, and Muniba Deuce, I should say, getting that combination right. That's their biggest outlet. Bingham always looking for that aerial duel. He's not getting the ball in the positions or spots where he needs to. But it's going to be very interesting. There's got to be some tactical changes. The wind plays a part, but it's evenly poised, and both teams are going to come out with something to offer, I believe, in the second half.
Both teams, you can see there on screen the statistics there. 5 shots for Hume, 3 for Dandenong City. No shots on target, but nevertheless, though, let's go and have a little bit of a break here. Half-time here at Nassau Stadium. It is Hume City 0, Dandenong City 0. Welcome back, everybody, to Nassau Stadium as we get set for second half action here in round 19 of the Senol NPL Victoria competition. It is Hume City playing host to Dandenong City. Half-time there between these two sides, and what a very, very close encounter it was in that first half. What can this second half provide? That is the real question. Stefan Georgic and Peter Paleologos here. We're in the commentary booth as we're getting set for this second half action. A very, very close yet calm first half of both these two sides. Not enough attacking, as we were saying a lot in that first half. Pete, if you were both the two coaches, both Nick Tolios for Dandy City and Nick Hegarty for Hume City, what would you have told the boys at halftime?
You've got to go back to the basics. I think you've got to go back to the basics. What's been winning for you, especially for Hume City? A lot of their success this year has been from the right side crosses into the box. We haven't seen much of that. They've also kept ball losses to a minimum this year. That hasn't happened that much in the first half. So get those two right. They've got the attacking outlets, and with Burka Kurda being the maestro, and you've got also Kadur. I haven't seen Kadur go forward as much, as maybe doesn't have a license as much today, but he's also been a very creative outlet for Hume. Dandy City, I think it's efficiency. We've seen Xander Guy and Decker a couple of times in promising positions, but they haven't had any shots on target. You've got Camilleri, the younger keeper there for Hume, who hasn't really been tested. So that's something that Dandy City's got to look at.
Second half action underway here as well. Avondale and Preston Lions at Avenger Park is underway as well on the other NPL Victoria YouTube channel stream. So if you want to go and check that game out as well, by all means you can. Big game of football today. Super Saturday of football action here across the Senol NPL Victoria competition, as well as I just mentioned, Avondale and the Preston Lions taking place at Avenger Park. Still to come in about 12 or so minutes time, it'll be Altona Magic and Melbourne City, and later to come tonight at 6 p.m. kickoff between Caroline Springs and the Oakley Cannons. 6 p.m. kickoff there at City Vista, and then tomorrow it will be South Melbourne taking on Dandenong Thunder. So those two teams will play. So much football to come. Last night, of course, Green Gully, they took on the Bentley Greens, and a somewhat closer chance there for Dandenong City. It was Will Bow. He had to just hold himself down a little bit. He knew if he touched it, it was going to be pinged for offside. But nevertheless, though, last night, 3-0 in favour of Green Gully. Their second win of the season, and that 1-1 draw at Olympic Village between Heidelberg United and St. Albans Dynamo. So a couple of really, really strong and close games. If not every single game you look at so far, Pete, is super close and super strong. You don't really have to look too far. Obviously, there's no real difference from the top of the table to the bottom. Everyone's got something. They're all playing for something different.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the unique situation where 3 get relegated in the NPL Victoria. You've got a final 6 that's quite close. This year, you've seen Melbourne City being an A-League second team really step up and surprise a lot of the teams, especially with the way they played their football. So things have changed. The dynamics have changed, and Dandy City's pretty much the benchmark. They're within 5-6 points of getting the top 6, but they're not that far off for the relegation zone. So they're right in the middle, and really that sort of sets the tempo of the whole NPL. But one thing I have to say, and that's a disappointing pass by Coyne, but faster tempo by both teams needed. Faster ball.
Definitely 100% agree. The tempo was very, very somewhat dull in that first half for both the two sides. I don't want to criticise too much, but both sides seem very, very flat in terms of the intensity. So I'd like to see both the two teams really start to pick up their tempo. We'll keep you updated as well if any players are ready for any substitutions. Godfrey Debelay directly in front of us is just taping up his ankle, so possible substitution could be on the horizon for Godfrey Debelay. Obviously, the last time out that he played against Dandenong Thunder, he had a goal in his first touch in 54 seconds when he got subbed on. So definitely one for putting the ball in the back of the net, Godfrey Debelay. And as well, I wouldn't mind seeing a couple substitutions, maybe getting Jamie Latham out there on the park for Dandenong City, maybe adding a little bit more firepower in that attacking midfield position. Birkan Kirda, you want to talk about attacking midfielder, he's definitely one that really excels. A former Melbourne Victory player. A good ball there from Xander Guy through to Timmy Atherinos. Back to Xander Guy. Cuts it back. Got space. Tries to cross it in. And Damon Camilleri, the youngster, doing a good job there of staying alert. He knew he had Wade Decker coming up forwards to try and header that ball and finish it back home. But nevertheless, though, good goalkeeping there from Damon Camilleri.
Good goalkeeping, but good Xander Guy finally getting that ball in for Decker, trying to work together. And that was probably their first opportunity, that having a combination, being the two attacking front men and getting that ball. That's what they need. That chemistry needs to build. Obviously, Decker, new player for Dandenong City. But good first moments by Dandy City.
See if Dandy City can keep the pressure alive. They really found their footing in the back half towards the middle of that first half. So we'll see if they can keep applying the pressure here on Hume. Quite the windy and chilly one here so far as well. So all the players out there are definitely going to be feeling the wind. You can see the smoke from the barbecue over there working its way out onto the pitch. Not as bad as some of the fog we saw last week in round 18, but still somewhat doable out there. Inaba works it into Atherinos. Ashcroft connecting well with Atherinos, who's got space. Let's see if he can provide something. Works it out to Xander Guy. This could be a real chance here for Dandy City. And it was really close, but just it's been poor in the attacking third there, Pete.
Yeah, Xander Guy was disappointed. That bad disposal there. Should have been able to either get Lino or even Atherinos. Atherinos finally getting to the box. He's playing quite deep. He hasn't been able to get attacking that much, but it's good to see him get in the box, especially for Dandenong City, because he's a very dangerous player. We've seen him, he's obviously the leading scorer for Dandy, but he must be getting more opportunities.
Will Bauer with the throw in. Xander Guy had a really big lineup of a kick there. And Kirda now manages to work it out. No real play there for Dandenong City on that occasion. Here comes Hume in transition. Max Wright. What can he do? Munib Addis lost their footing. And a really good tackle there by Will Bauer, winning the football back for Dandy City. And getting them a get out of jail card there.
Good defence by Perrick Cullen. I mean, I thought Wright had a chance, one-on-one duel there. Should have taken off his man, showed a bit of speed, but Perrick Cullen has come over, as I mentioned, from the ACT. Young defender, really, really well placed, used his body well, and then let right through. So that's very impressive. That was a dangerous moment there for Hume.
A little bit clustered here on this near side. We can see Adisu Bayu slowly warming up on the right-hand side, just right next to the car park, doing a little bit of hops. So really warming up. It could be a substitution on the horizon for Hume City, getting their top goal scorer out there on the pitch just to add more attacking prowess up front, because at the moment, at the start of this second half, Dandy City has really been the team on the attack, and this could be a chance. It was a cross-in. He had Wade Decker in their sights. Danny Kim with a header, and it's headed away. Harry Ashcroft doing a good job at getting a header on himself. Kirda works it back. And this is a really good, strong, somewhat counter-attack here by Hume, and that one quickly stopped by Gaku Inaba, who's been really impressive in his game so far here today. Both himself and Valil Sesnik they've been covering every single blade of grass out there.
They have. They've, Inaba's done a lot of work rate, but also in the set pieces, moving up and looking dangerous for set pieces for Dandy. Manib will be disappointed. Manib Adus, a little bit more speed there, put a bit more pressure on the defender. He's an experienced player, played A-League. You would like to see him really go a little bit faster on that, to put more pressure on. Maybe a bit more of a... And he's playing, I would say, in the position of Engelhardt, so they want to see him a little bit more attacking.
Here comes Atherinos now on that right-hand flank, who's got Taylor Shriver for company, trying to work his way through and create an opening chance. As it was the football one there. Max Wright was in the attacking line there and just gets the football over the touchline there. So really, really strong display here and really aggressive a style of football from Dandenong City. Hume City find themselves on the back foot here at home. Last year, their home record compared to this year wasn't as strong as such. They suffered 7 wins, 1 draw, and 5 losses, and some losses were really, really crucial. Probably the most crucial that they had was that round 25 2-1 loss against Melbourne victory that really shattered them and that really ruined their hopes in making that top 6. And that's really, it was that round that Dandenong City actually ended up winning and propelled them up above them. So somewhat put a little bit of a buffer between the two sides. So far this year, Hume City, as I mentioned already earlier on in the broadcast, 6 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses here at home. So they've built a real big fortress, but can they try and sustain this pressure that Dandenong City are applying on them at the moment? Adisu Bayu still warming up out here on the sidelines. We'll keep you posted if he possibly can be subbed on. 12 goals he scored so far this year. It's definitely been a goal-attacking year this year in Senol NPL Victoria. Bruno Fornaroli, 17. Adisu Bayu with 12. Leo Marzi, 10 goals from Caroline Springs George Cross. And it's 9 goals each for the next 3 players. Roland Ballo, Adam Doratovic, and Maki Petratos. So definitely a lot of players out there being able to find the back of the net on multiple occasions. Kirda works it back, passes it off to Munib Addis, who was well off balance going for a strike, and that one going straight into the hands of Matthew Murray.
Something that's underrated here is Spink is very important for Hume. He's got a pass rate of 91%. Pass rate, which is very, very high, one of the highest in the NPL to start that attacks. But the ball is a bit slow. We saw Manube there take the shot, but Hume not fast with the ball today. Something's not maybe it's the wind, maybe it's the change in the personnel, but faster tempo is needed by Hume, because that's what's been in their repertoire for the last few games, and we're not seeing that today.
Dandy City, once again, you could see they're really promising. Whenever they do get ahead, it might only be a matter of moments in this game. Which team can have a moment that they can really try and have a real good attack? And speaking of the 2 players that are getting ready to be subbed on, Adisu Bayu along 2 with Jamie Latham, both getting ready to go out. Both very, very attacking players in their own right. Adisu Bayu, as we mentioned already, 12 goals to his name that he's had. He was named the New Balance Senol NPL Victoria Player of the Month back in March. Jamie Latham in his own right as well. Quite the player from Wales. Definitely used to the cold that we're getting and we're experiencing here at West Meadows. It was a big contest there between Harry Ascroft and Josh Bingham. Xander Guy out to Atharinos, who's going to work it down the channel. Wade Decker trying to follow in pursuit and keep the ball alive. But a great defensive stop there from the Hume City back third, as we're slowly getting ready for a substitution here any minute now. Kador works it forwards to Kirda, centrally now to Max Wright. Steve White, who's been very, very quiet in this game. Sure, he can definitely find his groove a little bit more. He's Munib Addis one-on-one with Jackson Lino. Works it back to Kirda. Kirda could have a chance. And a very off-balance shot there indeed. So substitution coming on. Will Bauer will be coming off. Jamie Latham will be making his way out there on the pitch. So the first substitution, and it will be that player Max Wright. He'll be making his way off. And Adisu Bayu will be making his way on. So a couple of aggressive attacking players coming on the pitch here.
Yes, Jamie Latham is a player that very important player, because he's got that ability to give those smart passes. And obviously Bayou's been one of the top players. 58% shots on target. Number 1 in headers this season in terms of the NPL. Very important player for Hume. But interesting there was a bit more of a high press by Dandenong City, but very good by Hume to unlock that and get the opportunity. Obviously, Berta's shot was off target, but it's very important to unlock that, because I can see that Dandy City now see an opportunity maybe for a turnover, thus pushing a little bit higher.
Jamie Latham played throughout his career in Wales and Great Britain for 8 years, and we can see him already making a statement out there, getting his feet on the footballs, and the guy with a kick. And Jamie Latham already making an instant impact the moment he's made his way out on the pitch.
Yeah, Jamie Latham always brings a different vibe, a different hard-working player, both attacking and defensive, and somebody who can unlock defences. He's got that ability, and I think that Dandenong City sensed something. They're chasing the win here.
Both Dandenong City and Hume City decided to rest Jamie Latham and Adisu Bayu last week, so they both didn't play last week. Jamie Latham, his last goal came back in round 8 against the Bentley Greens in a 3-0 win at home. Adisu Bayu, former Western United player, and as I mentioned, the New Balance Senol NPL Victoria Player of the Month back in March. Just this past week, it was announced that Christian Trajceski of Avondale was named the Player of the Month, so quite the prestige of players have been named in that position. It was listed Diaz, Labib, Bruno Fornaroli, Christian Trajceski, and as well as Adisu Bayu. So quite the elitist of players being named in the Player of the Month, as the ball going over the touchline there, and it still will be with Hume City.
Something we haven't taken note that obviously with Jake Webster not playing today, Dandenong City are the second most long passes in the league. They do have the long passes of prize teams. That's not available today because Jack Webster is one of the leading long passes. So they've had to adjust a little bit of their game.
Here's Coda Cador. What can he provide here? A cross in. Bingham was in his sights. Well defending there by Jack Peticic-Cullen, getting his body right on the line and getting ahead of Josh Bingham. And we know how scary Josh Bingham is, especially in the aerial attacks that he's been able to provide such skill and versatility with. And we are going to have the first corner coming up here of this second half for Hume City. Watch out for Adisu Bayu now. He definitely likes to get right in behind and a good run-up whenever the ball does come in. Corner's in this time. It's quite the low one. Could this be a chance for Hume? It was all the way in the back. Aaron Calver tried to have a strike, but not quite there. And we are going to have Matthew Murray to bring us back in.
Yeah, it's an interesting that Hume third most corners this season so far in the NPL. Not many corners today. A little bit change. And they're second in shots. They haven't had many shots either. 265 prior to this game. So Hume City a little bit different today. Obviously, Bayo coming on, that's going to be a big change. I think Engelhard not being there has also made them change their shape and maybe not as dynamic up front. So, yeah, but Hume now starting to press.
They're really starting to press and pick up the intensity. Kirdar one-on-one with Danny Kim. Kirdar manages to win the football and keep it alive for Hume. And you can see Dandenong City really crowding the centre of the park, not allowing Hume City to really create any attacking chances. Bayu, who had his last goal back in round 16 in that 5-1 win against Bentley at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. Coyne, Kirda, back out to Coyne, who recovers it. So they're going to go all the way into the back third and try and regroup here. Dandenong City doing a really good job at shutting down all the chances. Cador trying to keep it alive, and that one just going over the touchline. It will be a throw-in for Dandenong City here.
Yeah, Cador been a bit quiet, hasn't been able to go forward as much. He's one of the most attacking outlets coming from the right with their crosses. So Hume City need him getting those positions to open up the Dandy City defence.
Jamie Latham with the football. He's made an immediate impact ever since he's been subbed on. Here's Atharinos now directly in front of us. Manages to keep the football alive. Passing Coda Cador. Can he try and cross the football in? Cuts it in centrally. Timmy Atharinos wanted to try and curl the ball in, I imagine, but kind of somewhat lost his footing there.
One of the first real runs by Atharinos today, taking on the one-on-one dribble, creating the opportunity. The shot was a little bit off target, but that's what that kind of play we want to see more of, especially if you're from Dandenong City's perspective, because Atharinos, really dynamic player and someone who creates a lot of chances.
This 23rd meeting between these two sides is definitely proving to be quite the even battle. Last year it was Hume City that won both the games. The first game it was 3-1, second 3-0, a 6-1 aggregate in favour of Hume City. Here's Ashcroft. Works it in to Atharinos. Cuts it back to Jamie Latham. They're really creating something special here, Dandy. Can they try and cross it in? And that chance just falls out the window. And that was possibly, Peter, their best chance that they could have been able to attack. They built it up so well.
Yeah, Decker will be disappointed with that disposal. A great opportunity. Xander Guy going in for the aerial duel, but just wasn't delivered well. We'd be very disappointed with that. And the opportunities are there. I mean, the Dandy City are starting to create. Now, this is swinging. We saw the previous 5 minutes is Hume, now Dandy City taking control.
Two substitutions getting ready to come on here. Godfrey Debele and Zahi Addis working their way and hopefully going to make some impact once they do get subbed on. Cador, a little bit of a close contest between himself and Timmy Atharinos, and the substitutions are getting ready. Zahi Addis will be working his way on for Taylor Shrivers, and the other substitution, it will be Godfrey Debele making his way on for Munib Addis. So those are the two changes for Hume City. A total of 4 substitutions so far in this game. Let's see what these players can provide up front. Definitely more firepower up forwards here. You can definitely tell, Pete, Hume City are going all out with those substitutions.
Yeah, Debele, a very interesting player. I think 4 or 5 goals this year. Provides a very attacking outlet and hard-working player, and somebody may be able to change the paradigm of this game.
Can they change up the complexity of the game here? Lino progressing the football up front. Xander Guy tried to keep it alive. Steve White was there to try and cut him off. Centrally is now Jamie Latham, who tries to chip it out wide for Wade Decker, the former Dandenong Thunder player. Munib Addis, first touch of the football for him. He's being held a little bit there by Wade Decker, having a little bit of a tussle out in that far post. And finally there will be Dandenong City's football. So some inclusions here for for Hume City, I should say. Dandenong City only made the one change with Jamie Latham. Atharinos one-on-one with Adisu Bayu. What can they do here now? Outnumbered in the box from that cross was Dandenong City. It's a 3-on-1. Atharinos cuts it in from Jamie Latham. Timmy Atharinos was marching his way in, was almost in a good chance to attack. It was really cut off here, and this is a game that is really starting to feel like the urgency slowly starting to pick up here, Pete.
Yeah, good combination there between Latham and Atharinos. We haven't seen much of that, but Latham's made a difference coming on, really moving himself up, down, bringing the other forwards in. It's a very important player for Dandenong City to try to grab this game.
Jamie Latham works it into Xander Guy once again, who's had quite the number of touches in this second half compared to the first half. Didn't really have too many chances, but the push there by Dandenong City will be in favour of Hume for that free kick. Push on Josh Bingham. A couple of players that just got subbed on. Zahi Addis from Queensland, former Gold Coast Knights player, played 2 games in 2023 for Gold Coast Knights in the Australia Cup. And Godfrey Debele, a former Gold Coast Knight in his own right, played 2 games in the Australia Cup as well for them, and then obviously last year scored 2 goals in 20 appearances for him, 1 in round 13 against Port Melbourne Sharks and 1 in round 23 again. So run in round 13 against St Albans Dynamo, and then the other against Port Melbourne Sharks in round 23. So my correction there is Zahi Addis is just trying to work his way up forwards here between himself and Harry Ashcroft, and it will be Dandenong City's football.
Haven't seen much of Zahi Addis this year, so but you can tell that it's great to see a lot of Queensland players, Perth players coming to Melbourne and really testing themselves in the attractive, or say an attractive composition of NPL Victoria. And we've seen it. We've seen a lot of A-League players now with Thea Harris, Tevere coming back. There's really a very good mix of up and coming and talented and veteran players in the NPL.
And you look at one of the marquee players, Bruno Fornaroli, playing for Avondale. So you being an agent in your own right here, Peter, you wanted me to ask you this, but from a certain someone out there that's probably listening and doesn't probably know how the agents work, obviously Noel Bernarda, a big one, on loan, now part of Preston, I should say. How does the loan system work?
The loan system is pretty much like a temporary transfer. It's pretty much a contract and a transfer.
So might hold on to that one. Godfrey Debele one-on-one with Gaku Inaba. Tough there between those two players, and it will be a goal kick coming up here for Matthew Murram.
Just briefly, ever since the Football Australia decided to bring the domestic transfer system, make some changes, allow NPL clubs or VPL clubs to ask for transfer fees. Sometimes with changes in coaches, you've got a lot of good players. Some players are not getting game time. Other teams need those players. Loans are moving in. It's happening a lot in Europe. We've seen that with Chelsea, with loaning a lot of players trying to develop. That's more of a transfer strategy. But in the NPL, we're starting to see loans. We've seen Shalamanov go to Altona Magic. Well, obviously you mentioned Bernarda. And it's a temporary measure. And it will come also in the Australian Championship, where Australian Championship clubs will loan players, not saying from the A-League or from other NPL clubs. And those players get opportunity to play on a bigger stage or get game time. Or maybe they need to change environment because they don't fit the style of the current team.
See if Dandenong City can look to try and attack. Great analysis there from Peter Paleologos. Steve White works it out to Adisu Bayu, who's going to go down the channel to Birkan Kirdar, former Melbourne Victory player. Let's see what he can provide here. Sure, he'd love to get out on the scoring sheet. Matthew Murram had to just press out a little bit and stop the football there. And it still will be with Dandenong City, and I believe a yellow card being awarded to Harry Ashcroft there. So the first yellow card of the afternoon.
Yeah, the first yellow card of the afternoon. Quite a physical match, actually, but the referee probably letting the game go, and obviously gave the yellow card at the end there, but good opportunity. One of the opportunities for Hume here, and I think Burka Kurda was starting to create that sort of getting through the channel, the passes, now the set piece. Hume are chasing the win here.
Let's see what this corner can provide. Birkan Kirdar with the corner, he's going to cross it in. Matthew Murram did a good job at getting his hand on it. And that one works all the way out. So the more this game goes along, Pete, I think this game might slowly be resulting in both teams splitting spoils here at this rate, because, I mean, at half-time, you could see that Hume City had 5 shots, Dandy City had 3, but none of which both sides didn't have an actual shot on target. So both teams here didn't really bring their kicking boots out here today. Jamie Latham looking to try and progress it up forwards, keeps the ball alive as he goes straight into his feet once again. Danny Kim tried to recover it in the back. Valil Sesnik keeps it alive only just. Debele on him. They work it back to Jack Pericic-Cullen, who has had quite the game here so far in his first start this year. Definitely been quite the player filling in the boots for Jack Webster, who's not in the squad today. So I think he's held his own very well here today so far.
Yeah, good game intelligence, really reading the player and covering the players. And for a young defender, that's not easy when you haven't had much game time, but really quite a smooth transition into that defence for Danny City for Perek Cullen.
Jackson Leno and Zahi Addis there with a close encounter. Harry Ashcroft cleans it and keeps it alive. Xander Guy just puts it into the opening space for Valil Sesnik. Good to see the sun's out after what's been a very windy affair so far here today. Obviously, a couple of other games that are happening as well, as I mentioned. Avondale and Preston Lions still 0-0 between those two sides. We'll keep you updated if any goals do happen, and of course kickoff is underway in the 13th minute at Paisley Park between Altona Magic and Melbourne City. One more game still to come at City Vista. It's going to be Caroline Springs George Cross playing host to the top side Oakley Cannons. Kickoff at 6 p.m. and then tomorrow South Melbourne play host at Lakeside Stadium to the visiting Dandenong Thunder. And that will conclude round 19. A couple games to go until we really start to work our way to the end of the season. It's been such a quick season, hasn't it? We always get to this part of the season here, Pete, and we always say it's been such a quick season, but I'll tell you what, there's been a lot of Chavapi rolls and souvlakis consumed so far this year. What a season it's been.
It definitely has. As you say, you can see the barbecue from here, from the smoke, but let's focus on the football. And it's And Atherinos now really showing, trying to get through those channels.
Timmy Atherinos, what a sensational talent he is. 7 goals to his name so far this year. I'm sure he'd love to get out there and make somewhat of an impact. He's been crossing the ball a lot. I wouldn't mind seeing him take a couple more shots. He's taken a few here and there, but he hasn't really had an ideal proper shot because, both of these back thirds are playing sensational football.
Yeah, he hasn't been given that much space. Also, it's the spaces where he's receiving the ball. You can tell even Xander Guy and even Deco are receiving the ball too high up. They're not close to the box, their attacking box. So really it's made it a little bit difficult for him to really get those attacking opportunities.
Scored himself a hat-trick, Timmy Atherinos, all the way back in round 16 in that 4-1 win against Heidelberg at home. So keep your eyes out, maybe, possibly. Could be a youngster like Timmy Atherinos, maybe even the likes of Adisu Bayu or Godfrey Debele that could get on the receiving end. Danny Kim, who's really picked up his steam in this second half. This has been a pretty much dominated second half here by Dandenong City, and it's weird to say considering their away record this year. They've only had 2 wins away from home. They've really done a good job at picking up their tempo. Sesnick works it all the way back. Latham just looking to try and create a little bit of space. Cross comes in here for Dandenong City. It's a good header there by Aaron Calver. Valil Sesnick tries to cut it back in. Jamie Latham is offside, unfortunately, there for him. It was looking really, really promising, but nevertheless, though, just a little bit offside there for Jamie Latham, but somewhat promising play there, and they're looking promising for a goal. It's just, it hasn't really been ideal for them so far.
No, Sesnick saw his play. Latham was onside. So I think one of the top one-on-one dribblers in the league, but really also has got a very good pass, especially going forward, and Latham onside, but that's the attacking intent. They know that Dandenong City want to take this game. This is a very important game for them. Hume City, Bayou's come on. We haven't seen much of him. I know he's coming back from an injury cloud, but very important player, and can tell he's just acclimatising to the game. But also tightly held by Jackson Lino. It looks like they haven't gone hybrid defending with Bayou. I think it's more man marking because very dangerous player.
I don't mind seeing maybe possibly another substitution come on, maybe for Dandy City. Possibly some fatigue might be kicking in for some of their players up front. You can see Xander Guy has definitely slowed down a little bit, especially after that first half. He's been up and about everywhere. Wade Decker as well, who hasn't really had too much touches of the football. Dandy City really elected to roll a lot more through Timmy Atherinos. You see, pick of the devil, Xander Guy, out to Valil Sesnick, out on this near side. Tries to cross it in. Could this be a chance? Jamie Latham was there. And really, really close opportunity there for Dandenong City. Jamie Latham, he's been everywhere ever since he's been subbed on, but he's very etchy and super frustrated himself after that one.
Oh, yeah, you can tell his body language. He knew that was a cutting-edge chance. A good opportunity. Just got a little bit under it and just over the top. One of the... what an opportunity, really. You can tell he's very disappointed. And there haven't been many opportunities. The keepers, both keepers haven't been tested, really. Maybe on a couple of occasions, especially directly. So that was a cutting-edge, gilded chance there.
Could this be a chance? The answer is no. Adisu Bayu, all he needs is one little chance to try and get the football in open space, and he can do his magic. And we have an offside call there by our line referee there. Nick Tolios, really, really frustrated with that one.
There's no VAR here, so he's just got to go with the...
Got to go with the flow.
Got to go with the thing. I think he came back from offside and then tipped across, the way I read that.
We've got another substitution getting ready to come on for Hume City. Looking to try and add more firepower there. Josh Bingham, who's been very quiet in this second half. He's been well contained by the Dandenong City back third. He's Kirda. Works it out to Kador once again. He's in space. He's got Danny Kim for company. Back out to Kirda once again. Jamie Latham. Possession back in favour for Dandenong City. Atharinos tries to roll it back to himself centrally, but it was picked off by Zahiatis. And Zahiatis, ever since he's come on, he's really done a good job at shutting down his side of the pitch.
Yeah, coin got turned there. You can't allow you to get turned that much, but at the end of the day, both teams are looking for some end product. As we haven't seen much of the end product at the moment, 0-0. And I think both coaches are really pushing and allowing their teams to go a little bit more on the foot. It's a very, very finely poised match at the moment.
Hume City going all out attack here, especially on the substitutions end. There's two subs looking to get ready to come on. Joshua Wilkins is one. We'll get the other one in confirmation. Xander Guy working his way in centrally. Could this be a chance? There's a sea of red everywhere he's going. So Wade Decker wins the passage of football back. What can Dandenong City do? Sesnik is one-on-one being pressed up heavily by Adesubeu. Wade Decker with the football this time. Back to Timmy Atharinos, back to Decker, who's going to cross it in. Jackson Lino's inside. And a chance goes begging there, but 4 substitutions are getting ready to come on. George Lambatarides is ready. Jackson Courtney Perkins is ready himself, along too with Joshua O'Kane. So a couple of substitutions getting ready here. We'll get you the official confirmation board as Jackson Courtney Perkins will be making his way on for Wade Decker. George Lambatarides will be switching for Danny Kim. It will be Joshua O'Kane coming on as well, and the other substitution that'll be coming on as well. So a couple substitutions here. Joshua Bingham is off along to with Steve White. So Steve White and Josh Bingham, out they come. Let's see here what these substitutions can provide.
Yeah, George Lambatarides played every game this year, and obviously now back on for very important. Didn't start the match, but someone provides those options. Courtney Perkins, an interesting player, can get forward, can provide width and also speed down the flanks. Good move probably from Dandy City, just to try to get behind Hume City.
There's the official confirmation as well. Joshua O'Kane for Josh Bingham, and Steve White off for Joshua Wilkins as well. So 4 substitutions in total for Hume City. 3 have been for Dandenong City. George Lambatarides, I think well overdue. Would have definitely liked to get him out on the pitch, possibly a little bit early if you were Dandenong City, but I think the way that they were going, they didn't really feel the need because they were pressing up so much and already making his presence felt out there with his first touch. Timmy Atharinos now in space. Works it out to Xander Guy, who's had a whole bunch of possession out here. Tries to cross it in. No one inside. Jamie Latham, who has had a really, really promising attack. Still in favour here, though, for Dandenong City. Courtney Perkins, and that one for Timmy Atharinos goes really airborne. And that one, an offside call there on Harry Ashcroft. But what a promising attack there for Jamie Latham, Peter.
His second opportunity, you can tell his body language. He's had 2 chances. The header before just got under it. And there another opportunity. And he's made a difference to Dandenong City. Really added that spark and that dimension. Joshua O'Kane, an interesting player, was rated one of the up-and-coming players, a creative midfielder that's come on. Someone hasn't had much game time this year, and that's something, the creativity in the midfield hasn't been there as much. Yes, Kurda has been the maestro, but he does need support, and that's an interesting move by Hume City.
George Lambatarides, a former Brisbane Roar player, played 9 games in 2016 for Brisbane Roar, scored 1. His only goal came in his last game of the 2011 season. In his second game against Gold Coast United. It was actually part of the 2011-2012 A-League Championship winning squad for Brisbane Roar. Former Bentley Greens player as well in his own right. Began his career in 2008 for Altona Magic. The 34-year-old George Lambatarides. Possibly the most experienced player out there, both himself and Josh Bingham. But unfortunately, Josh Bingham isn't out there on the park anymore. Subbed on for Joshua O'Kane, as you mentioned, one of the youngsters really rising up through the ranks. Here's Kirdar now. looking to try and work his way through space, slowly winding our way down. 7 minutes to go here until full time. It's been a very quiet attacking third for both these two sides. However, one moment is all it takes, and a goal could possibly be on the scoreboard. Wilkins.
Both these teams are looking at game management now. They're well into the last maybe 10 minutes. Can't afford to take too many risks because you really want to stay on, on top. Here's Latham again.
Joshua O'Kane, a former Sydney Olympic player, went back as a force between Sydney Olympic and Hume City in 2023 and 2024. Joshua Wilkins from Perth, a former Heidelberg United, Port Melbourne Sharks and Northcote City player as well. Played for Northcote City last year, 18 games and 1 goal for his likings last year, so definitely some firepower there. Northcote City last night went down to FC Melbourne Serbia in VPL 1. VPL 1 as well, we've got to mention, we talk a lot about the top flight. VPL 1, it's known as the Chaos League. It's definitely proving to be quite chaotic down there. The top 6 only separated by a couple points. So we see Dandenong City looking to try and progress the football up. Xander Guy. I think some fatigue might be starting to slowly settle in for Xander Guy, possibly. As we can see, as the games progress, he's really slowed down a little bit. So I'm surprised they haven't subbed off Xander Guy. He's definitely been the powerhouse here. And this could be a chance here for Hume City now. Adisu Bayu, 12 goals to his name. Can he make it 13? Godfrey Debele in space. Couldn't really get the kickoff in time, was Adisu Bayu. Debele, 1-1 with Inaba. You can see there, Hume City, they're almost reluctant to try and have a bit of a shot. Very hesitant because they know what this means. 1 goal, and that could pretty much be the sealer in this game. You almost sense the tension right now. Both these two teams, they want a goal. That one cleared out well by Dandenong City. Jamie Latham. Dandenong City, with the way that they've played this second half, very fearless here. They've got nothing to lose at this rate, and the way that they're playing, it's definitely showing.
Yeah, Debele there would be disappointed. That technique let him down. He just too heavy on the ball there when he really could have taken a first shot. We'd be disappointed with that. But yeah, Dandenong City are chasing a win here. They know this is important for them. Hume City, second on the ladder, playing a very competitive team. You can maybe settle for a draw here, although obviously they've had a great season. But Dandenong City really want these points.
Matthew Giofcu, along too with Anastasios Georgakopoulos, getting ready to make their way on as well for Dandenong City. That'll be 5 substitutions for them, as we do have a substitution call here, as Anastasios Georgakopoulos will make his way on for Xander Guy, Speak of the Devil, and Harry Ascroft will be making his way off and clearing for Matthew Giacofu. So a couple substitutions there for Dandenong City as well. They kind of heard me possibly right when I said that maybe Xander Guy should possibly be subbed off, because you can tell the way that he's really slowed down. You can see him kind of hobbling his way off the pitch. His pace has really slowed down, so he hasn't really been able to be as aggressive and the player that they've needed him to be in the second half. Yeah,
Jofko, a natural striker, a natural attacker, top under 23 striker for Dandenong City, gets his opportunity, and he's known as a goal scorer, maybe not at this level, but obviously coming through the 23s. So a good addition, and someone who was recognised as one of the top 40, I would say, young players coming through NPL to look out for this season.
3 minutes to go until the completion of this game here. Could there be a late minute goal for both of these two sides? You can tell how much it means for them. Well, the way that this game is unfolding, it's been quite the affair for both of these two sides. In all the other games, there has not been a goal between Avondale and Preston. Likewise at Paisley Park between Altona Magic and Melbourne City. Tensions are at a high here. Georgakopoulos works it back to Giacofu. Giacofu once again. Jackson Lino in space. Gets past Koda Kador. And he goes down there by the contest from Godfrey Debele. And this could be a chance here and a real possible opportunity for Dandenong City to maybe score a goal, put some scoreboard pressure if they can convert one.
Yeah, we haven't seen Jackson Lino go on the attack, get that progressive runs most of this game. That was one of the early ones. Obviously, he was marking Munir Badous, who's pushing him back a little bit, but you've got to have license to attack, and we just saw that now and created an opportunity.
Dandenong City 5 points off of 5th place Melbourne City. 21 points Dandenong City on 26. They're slowly working their way out. 1 point separates 5th to 8th. This is what big time players strive for here. Jamie Latham getting ready to take this free kick. Could this be a chance? It was really, really close. And really good goalkeeping there from the youngster Damon Camilleri.
Camilleri did well there, read the ball. Good free kick there by Jamie Latham.
And you can hear the intensity picking up here, the urgency. Jamie Latham getting ready to take this corner here. It's almost now or never for both of these two sides. It's been 89 minutes. Can they create one more opportunity? Giokofu inside. Dandenong City, they got all the players up here. Bar 2 outside for Lil Sesnick from well beyond range. Great poise and composure there from Camilleri. Goes down the line to Adesubeu, who has Georgakopoulos for company, who wins the football off him. Dandenong City, they be spewing if they can't get a goal. Hume City though, Kador, 4 minutes of stoppage time as we slowly wind our way to the completion here of this one. What a game this has turned out to be here. Kador on this near side. He was closed under space as he was right next to the touchline when he had to let that one go. And it's Jamie Latham for Dandenong City. What a game this has been so far. The pressure that Dandenong City have provided after not having the best record away so far this year. If you compare them to last year, they had 5 wins, 6 draws and 2 losses. This year, not ideal on their away record, but when they've come out and in games like this where they've been able to keep a team like Hume City at bay and not allow them to play the game that they want to play, it's been really, really impressive for them.
Yeah, they've had a good mid-press. They haven't allowed, they haven't gone high press, mid-press, making sure mid-block right now, making sure that the channels aren't open here for Hume City.
Kane works it into Debele. Coyne manages to recover it only in the nick of time. He was being heavily pressed here. Hume City are looking to try and be attacking here. There's a sea of white shirts there as Dandenong City really parking themselves back. They don't want to concede this one. It's been a very hard-fought game so far. Zahi Addis tries to cross it in. Could this be a late-minute one here for Hume City? Joshua Wilkins with the cross in. He had sights set on Adesubeu, but that time it was Birkan Kirda, though. He possibly didn't see Adesubeu right behind him.
Important interception there. I think it was Perek Cullen. Bayou and Dembele were loose on the left side, the left wing there. Very important interception.
Dandenong City. What a game they've played today. You'd almost feel that the way they've played, they've been second on the table with the way they've played both defensively and attacking-wise as well. Been unfortunate in some cases as we can see some attacks there. The urgency picking up on another level here between these two sides. Jamie Latham, who's been really ball dominant ever since he's been subbed on. Georgakopoulos now on this left-hand flank, tries to cross it in. The ball's deflected off of Aidan Coyne. And it was a handball indeed there from that kick there by Aidan Coyne. And we are going to have a free kick coming up here and possibly the last real chance.
Very dangerous position now. This is one for Latham, who's really brought in a bit more delivery, preciseness in this sort of second half for Dandenong City.
The Welshman, no stranger to big moments, Jamie Latham. 4 goals to his name so far this year. A former Green Gully player back in 2024. Played 21 games, 2 goals to his name. Jamie Latham with a free kick. Can he curl it in? He cannot. only just soaring over the crossbar.
Showing a lot of ambition. That's 3 opportunities now for Jamie Latham, really trying to grab this game by the neck. He's just not falling for him. But, you know, you've taken the shot. Both keepers haven't really been tested. And, you know, you right now you've got to be able to, you know, any opportunity, get that end product happening. But, yeah, Jamie Latham, ambitious, but, no, the right thing. The keeper, Camilleri, has been quite steady today. I think his first start for the year.
Had his first start last week, second start this week. So for the youngster Damon Camilleri, who's risen up through the youth ranks here at Hume City, has done a really superb job. And our referee, Alex Nikolovsky, blows the full-time whistle. A very, very close affair between both these two sides. And it's going to end in a 0-0 draw here. Possibly what no one would have thought here, Peter.
No, not with Hume's last 9 games undefeated. Probably the most attacking team. Great one-on-ones, great opportunities. We didn't see much of that today, I would say. It seemed a bit disjointed for them. Danny City will be happy with this point. They're on the upswing. They know they've got momentum. They're aiming for the finals. And they've got really, you know, they've been able to manage this game and even create some opportunities, especially with Jamie Latham coming on. I think they'll be very happy with this result, especially, as you said, their form hasn't been great away. Hume City will be a bit disappointed, but they're always going to be blip games. This is maybe one. And 2 teams who may again meet in the finals. The way Dandenong City's playing, they're one of the form teams. Hume will reflect on this performance, and I'll come back. Obviously, they've had a couple of players injured, Bayou and Engelhard, very important for them. And their midfields weren't creating enough today.
This is Hume City's first draw since round 15. That was here in that 1-1 draw against South Melbourne. And you can just see on the stats here, Peter, 8 shots for Hume City, 1 shot on target. Dandenong City, they were much more pressure heavy and much more aggressive in that second half. 11 shots on goal, or 11 shots, 1 shot on target. What a game it was so far here today. If you could kind of look forwards ahead to how these 2 teams are going to play, obviously the next game for Hume City will be at Geneseo Stadium against Preston. They've got a tough couple games. Preston next week, and then the week after that, the Oakley Cannons, Dandenong City. They got South Melbourne next week, and then the next 4 games for them are very, very winnable. Bentley Greens at home, Green Gully away, Dandenong Thunder away, and then Altona Magic at home. This season could go anyone's way, the way it's going so far.
Well, the way you've just narrated that, I mean, Dandenong City, they can see that they've got a lot. Obviously, a lot of these are the relegation candidates who'll be desperate, but they're all winnable games, and that's the upward momentum they have. Hume City, the big test, obviously Oakley, top team coming up. Preston, who are surging towards also trying to claim 6th position or 5th, maybe even higher than that. We've got to remember both Danny City and Preston have got points deductions, which obviously has handicapped them this year. But both teams, Hume, they'll be a bit disappointed, but I think it wasn't their best game of the season. They'll learn from this, and getting a couple of their attackers fitter. Bayou came on, but wasn't the Bayou that we know. Engelhardt's got to come back. They'll come back. They're going to be very interesting the next 2 games, but got a lot to look forward to in the NPL. A tough game today, a physical game, quite windy. But both teams really can't fault the endeavour. Stefan?
What a game it was here this afternoon. Good that the sun has been out as well. We'll quickly read you out some of the scores that are happening at the moment. It is half-time between Avondale and Preston Lions. Still 0-0 between those 2 teams at Paisley Park in the 38th minute. Melbourne City have scored a goal. They are in the lead 1-0 against Altona Magic. Still to come, though, however, tonight, 6 p.m. kickoff between Caroline Springs, George Cross and the Oakley Cannons. And then tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. kickoff, South Melbourne Hellas take on Dandenong Thunder. That'll round out round 19. So what a game it's been here today. From myself, Stefan George, Peter Paleologos, and from everyone here at National Stadium, we are signing off here at National Stadium. It is, at the end of the day, Hume City 0, Dandenong City 0. I tried. Yeah, it was very scrappy. Very, very scrappy.